The greatest medical fraud in history is to tell someone that they can change gender.
We have a whole specialty in medicine called gender-specific medicine. Did you know there's male and female kidneys, male and female hearts? If there's a woman who needs a kidney transplant, she will do better with a kidney transplant from a woman, because a kidney from a male, every cell in that kidney is going to have a Y chromosome. When we prescribe medications now, is this patient male or female? Because the reaction to the medication may differ.
Leading young children down the path of puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and mutilating surgeries places them at a greater risk of developing high blood pressure, stroke, heart attacks, cancer, relationship problems, anxiety, depression, and suicide as adults.
Ezekiel 22, verse 27. Her rulers in her are like wolves, violently taking their food, putting men to death and causing the destruction of souls, so that they may get their profit. For centuries, a network of occult-rooted organizations has worked silently, systematically, to influence global policies, culture, international affairs, and capture the minds of the next generation.
You're dealing with very wicked organizations and individuals. And you look at the organizations that they have been associated with and what their work has been for many years. These are individuals and organizations that have called for drastic reduction of population.
Supporters of these initiatives often present them as efforts to promote peace, health, inclusion, and equality.
It's All One claims, among other things, to be evidence-based, comprehensive, human rights, gender-sensitive, and culturally appropriate education that will increase young people's responsible decision-making, to reduce adolescent rates of pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections, including HIV. It's All One, however, like most CSC programs, is really just cleverly disguised abortion rights, sexual pleasure education, masquerading as human rights, gender, and sexual and reproductive health education.
But beneath the kindly facade lies a darker agenda.
They masquerade themselves as an agency here to help Africa plan its population. What they're trying to do is to suppress the African population.
They do it through educations, making sure that whatever reproductive health care is wanted is in the direction of not having children.
These are wolves in sheep's clothing. Their true objectives include a one-world government, a one-world religion, eugenics programs, the systematic infiltration of education systems, and other far-reaching initiatives designed to reshape human society. Our story begins with 4 organizations, each with a distinct role in a shared agenda, although they seem unrelated. But together, they form a network that has infiltrated UNESCO, the United Nations, and school systems across the globe. 1. The Fabian Society, 1884. British socialists who believed the state must reshape society through gradual infiltration. The second on the list is Theosophical Society, 1875. Occultists who taught that all religions are one, all morality is relative, and Christianity must be replaced. 3. The Lucis Trust, 1922. Formerly Lucifer Publishing Company, publishers of Alice Bailey's New Age teachings, calling for a new world religion and a new education system to produce the New Age man. 4. The International Planned Parenthood Federation, 1952. Eugenicists who sought to control population, separate sex from procreation, and dismantle the traditional family.
Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood Federation, she was part of the eugenics movement that she referred to black people as the weeds of society. She believed in this ideology that the weak people in society should be weeded out.
Writing in 1992 in Fidelio magazine, the Frankfurt School in Political Correctness, Michael Minicino observed how the heirs of Marcuse and Adorno now completely dominate the universities, teaching their own students to replace reason with politically correct ritual exercises. Their policies, they hoped, would spread like a virus, continuing the work of the Western Marxists by other means, as one of their members noted. To further the advance of their quiet cultural revolution, but giving us no idea about their plans for the future, the school recommended, above other things, 1. The creation of racism offences. 2. The continual change to create confusion. 3. The teaching of sex and homosexuality to children.
The bridge between these organizations and global education is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO.
The man who coined the name transhumanism, Julian Huxley, was the first director of UNESCO. He was the first director of UNESCO. I know UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. And he was the one that wrote the philosophy, the purpose and philosophy of UNESCO. Now, UNESCO is the organization that's behind, get this, is the organization that's behind the ideology of education, the educational policies, all right? And behind what should be endorsed as science. And to regulate human cultures.
UNESCO's former Assistant Secretary General, Robert Mueller, openly based his World Core curriculum on the teachings of Alice Bailey of the Lucis Trust. This curriculum has been implemented in schools across dozens of countries. Its goals are global citizenship, moral relativism, and the dissolution of traditional values, including biblical sexuality.
Alice Bailey was the disciple of Madame Blavatsky, who started the Theosophical Society in 1875. So really, they were very instrumental in what our friend, the late Charlotte Iserbyt, called the deliberate dumbing down of America. And they really targeted the West, but primarily the United States of America. And they did that very fundamentally through the indoctrination and brainwashing of education systems.
Today, the IPPF is a primary architect of UNESCO's Comprehensive Sexuality Education Guidelines, mandating sexual instruction for children as young as 5 years old. The document calls for children to be taught that sexual orientation is fluid and should be explored. Same-sex attraction is normal and natural. Parental consent is not required for children to access contraception or abortion.
Most people are unaware that International Planned Parenthood Federation, also known as IPPF, is one of the largest providers of graphic, comprehensive sexuality education programs. With 65,000 service points in over 170 countries, this should concern governments and parents everywhere.
My brother Luigi and I had an opportunity to go to the United Nations and give a speech on the UN floor. First, my brother explained about how we became orphans when both of our parents died of AIDS. I told him how Planned Parenthood was passing out a booklet for HIV-positive youth at the United Nations called Healthy, Happy, and Hot. This is for the kids who have AIDS. The booklet says its purpose, and I quote, "To support your sexual pleasure." It tells youth they can have sex in different ways. It teaches about sexual pleasure through masturbation, with same-sex partners, and even if you are drunk.
This has horrified a lot of people in South Africa, and the tool that is being used, the weapons that are being used, is comprehensive sexuality education.
And let me tell you, times have changed and things are changing real fast. Some of you that have little kids, you have to start thinking now what you're going to do about your children's education. This is real, what I'm telling you. You're going to have to start thinking what you're going to do about your children's education.
As president of the American College of Pediatricians, I am deeply concerned about comprehensive sexuality education for 4 reasons. First, it sexualizes children. Second, it threatens children's health. Third, it promotes a dangerous gender ideology. And fourth, it undermines the parent-child relationship, which violates parental rights.
They're telling you you don't have a right over your children anymore. Now you think that's a joke. I warn you. I warn you. It's about control, ownership, and they are not hiding it. This is the thing. They're not hiding it. They say they're coming for your children. They're not hiding it.
A Christian couple in Brazil is facing 50 days in prison over homeschooling.
Everything is wrong with this case except for the parents. The parents are doing what they should do, which is teaching their children, educating their children according to their convictions, their moral and religious convictions. But the judge in Brazil just went crazy, just went out of its lane and decided to convict them for intellectual neglect because he said that they were not receiving in their homeschool curricula classes on gender, on sexual education, and that they were not diverse enough. That's the basic reasoning of the case.
Now they're saying that the children, the state has a right to decide what happens to a child. Uh-oh, you had a child and you didn't know you gave birth to a child for the state. Can you imagine that?
Planned Parenthood became very active in the 90s in Russia after the collapse of Soviet Union. They would provide textbooks for the Russian Ministry of Education and penetrate the official educational networks. Some of those textbooks were really bad and tried really to sexualize children.
The Swedish Planned Parenthood presented a film of about 30 minutes, an animated film, which is addressed to young people of 13 to 14 years old. It is called Sex on the Map. In this film, the young people are taught that anything is okay as long as you agree and it feels all right for you.
They get comprehensive sexual education without the consent of parents, taking and deconstructing the family.
Educating children from as little as 9-year-olds about sex. Now, it's good to have sex education, but where you say the children can decide when to have sex, are you joking with me? When to have sex, who they should have with, and it does not matter. You know, having the ideology that the parents pass to them has nothing to do with their personality. Yeah. So they can decide. It's not about what the parents are saying. It's not about what the world is saying. It's how your body feels. Do you feel like...
It is not at all true that anybody who's male was supposed to be female. There's nothing like that.
Gender is a social construct, and the idea that gender ideology is replacing biological sex is very unfortunate. It's not helpful because it doesn't exist. There's a massive increase in young children identifying as trans and non-binary. And what myself and many other clinicians feel is that isn't really a transsexual thing. It isn't that we suddenly have an epidemic of transsexual children. Gender ideology is made up. It's a social construct. It's a cult belief.
Someone had told you 15 years ago that kids in your, say, daughter's 9th grade class would be coming to school in drag and would be affirmed in that by their teachers and the broader community, you would say there's no chance that could happen in this country. And of course, it has happened, and it's now happening at scale. And so the question is, how did something this unnatural and prima facie demented happen so quickly? Well, of course, there's got to be money involved. Interestingly, no one that we're aware of has taken a close forensic look at where the money's coming from and where it's going. Transgenderism. It didn't happen by accident. Some people are profiting from it.
And those are profiting from it, are profiting from the pains of others. They are made to think they have a sickness they don't have. That's terrible. It's a deception and needs to stop now.
In 2013, the American Psychiatric Association amended DSM. DSM is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Illness.
Yes.
And in this change, they altered the nomenclature of the condition, such that transsexualism or gender identity disorder became gender dysphoria. And what's significant about this change...
This is why the term transsexual, which was the term of art that people used, all people on all sides of the question, has disappeared.
Of course. And well, I mean, let's face it. If you remove the pharmaceuticals, if you remove the surgeries, what are you left with? You're left with a transvestite.
Right.
You're left with a cross-dresser.
Right.
And that's it. And that's what it was for decades and decades. I mean, there were, okay, like I said, some surgeries here and there, very small numbers, but really what we're seeing today accelerated after 2010.
So I feel like I was born in the wrong body. Through plastic surgery and drugs, I can eliminate all of the anxiety that comes from feeling like I'm trapped.
Many also report regret, severe physical ailments that come from the surgeries themselves, which we can get into, and the complications that arise from those, and then of course the pharmaceutical.
When are you going to know that there is a deception going on? The Bible already showed you, and it told you that nations were deceived by pharmakeia. Right now they tell you it's for health.
And who benefits? Not the children, not the families. The beneficiaries are the organizations that designed this system. The IPPF, which sells contraception and performs abortions. The Lucis Trust, which advances New Age spirituality. The Fabian Society, which expands state control. Theosophical networks, which undermine Christianity. The infiltration was deliberate. The subversion was systematic. But the victory of the Church is certain, because through our prayers and the bold proclamation of the gospel, we will rescue nations from the grip of these deceptive organizations. Christ said, "I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Matthew 16:18.